Great rising, beautiful beings. Yeah, we're going to talk about orchestrating your demise. Okay. How the shadow government, they're not even in the shadow. It's different levels to everything, okay? The shadow government are the aliens, the parasites, the interdimensional beings, and the elite, but they're not elite because they don't have to spend money. They really don't need money. They're using the money for the researchers, the scientists, for other means, okay? But they're really not using the money. Like, you have, the money is just out here for the rat race, to keep the rat race flowing until they see a promising mind to do something they need them to do, like write a code, be a chemical, like search chemicals and labs, like they put the money into, and then you got all these people that need to oversee, which is not many. You got 10% of these people that need to oversee the system. Okay, you got the hierarchy of 10% that needs to oversee the system. Like, they need to oversee the presidents, the mayors, the governors, the workforces, the lawyers, the doctors. They need to oversee these people. So you got 10% in higher up places that actually intermingle with the crowd, right? So, dealing with our demise. Okay, so I was having a dream, and I was trying on clothes. I picked out something very pretty, and I kept saying, "Dog, I was skinnier, and I liked the way my hair looked." And I was like, you bring your reality into your dreams. You do. You bring your reality into your dreams. So whatever's happening to you in real life, you'll bring that into your dream. So if you're on a diet, you're being vegan, you'll bring that. If you're going through illness or ailments, you'll bring that. If you're thinking like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, you'll bring that into your dream, right? You're pretty much not going to do things that you would not do in your awake life. You pretty much hold a certain morale or a certain standard or whatever. Well, anyway, it made me bring up orchestrated demise, right? I forget exactly what I said at the beginning of the thing because I'm all off topic. So whatever's going on in your awake life, you will bring it into your dream, period. Okay? The knowledge, the psyche, the mind is going into the dream world. Well, anyway, a girl started dancing, and she was trying on this bathing suit too, or whatever we had on. It was very nice, sheer, soft colors, fit the body. And I started shaking to see if the fat on my back was going to start shaking, but it wasn't there. Nope, it was not there. And what was creepy, I was actually able to see myself in the mirror. I was able to look at myself. And then something from I'm not even going to get into it, something from my awake life happened in the dream realm. And I was like, oh, shit. That's all I can say. Something from my awake life happened in my dream. And all I could do is think about orchestrated demise. So let's get into orchestrated demise. Orchestrated demise. when things are being orchestrated around you, and if you have no knowledge, wisdom, or power, or discipline to stay on your straight and narrow, you fall under victimization of the agenda, okay? So there's some level of me that put me on the straight and narrow for years to avoid all the deceit that was going to come starting 2020, right? But somehow I got off track. I thought I could be normal, find love, find romance, eat meat, eat fruit, eat vegetables, and I got stuck in the trap, which is harder to get out of, than it was years ago, right? I just was like, man, it can't just be like people really dying by themselves, living by themselves, staying by themselves, right? What you think a nurturing healer has to find, how can I say it, has to find obstacles too. A lot of people who have obstacles through orchestrated demise, they actually chose it. Have you ever sat back and reflect as a child and said, I actually chose that? Like when you reflect, you can remember the first time something was introduced to you. And you say, I chose that obstacle for your path, for your journey. Like, I'm like, why did you choose that obstacle? Why did you choose that? I've done it several times. Like, are you serious? We just put our lives in perfect order, and you about to do it again. You about to just throw everything off course again. It's like, it's not a soul being compromised by your soul. It's like your soul say, we need to endure as much on this realm as possible. It chooses your battles. It chooses your turmoil. It chooses everything. So let's get back to this orchestrated demise. You have government, allegedly, I have to say allegedly, you have government that orchestrate everything about your livelihood, that introduce everything to your area. That's why I complain about the smart school, the liquor store they want, the morgue, and the 5G tower just cloaked as a pine tree, okay? They orchestrate your demise. I see this stuff playing out. I know that there's a ticking time bomb around me. I know that it's time for me to vacate the area. I've studied this stuff for far too long to ignore the signs. But it's something about my existence, who I am, the journeys, the trials and tribulations that I have to pick. I reach to my higher self. I reach to my higher being and I say, why are you doing this? Why do I have to see or live out this orchestrated demise? Like, Why haven't we just picked up and left? Why are we trying to make boss moves? Or I say boss moves meaning like, okay, flip this. Don't just walk away. Don't just leave. Try to flip your home. Try to sell it. Don't just walk up and leave. Don't just abandon it. And it's like, my higher self is like, okay, you must don't understand who you are. You feel like you need the materials and the collateral to keep moving, when all you need is yourself to keep moving. So this is orchestrated demise. Okay? That's just like dead people that feel incomplete and they stick around as ghosts and try to protect their home. We have to detach. We have to detox. It's so many things. You see that D? D means to separate. I don't know what type of device. These cell phones are devices. We have to detox. We have to detach. We have devices. They're designed to separate us from ourselves. All of it. Denominator. What's the denominator? Divide. Okay? What's on top is always divided by the denominator, I think. Like, listen, y'all. Orchestrated demise. I cannot. You know, it's funny. I feel like I can't even help myself right now. My soul chose for me to go through so many experiences. So many experiences that I don't even know how to get out of boiling water. Like, literally, I know how, okay? It's discipline. It's it's guiding yourself and avoiding everything, right? We know what it is. Money and devices. The money is device, right? Y'all got to, I can't even explain it to y'all because a lot of people are so far away from being in tune with their soul. And then it's like you're just wasting your time. And then I feel like I'm sugarcoating the conversation instead of just being blatantly and blunt. But this is going to help somebody. Orchestrated demise is serious. Remember when our grandparents had it all? Done it all? Done seen it all? Had real estate, homes, land, just for them to put crack out in our neighborhoods and cocaine and destroy our parents. Somehow, all the inner city grandparents did reverse mortgage on their homes. This is orchestrated demise. Somehow, the Tuskegee experiment spread it to the whole families. Somehow, there was enough black men working, so they just start planting drugs on innocent black men. Somehow, an innocent black man was just minding his business, working, saving his money, and they started planting piles and piles of guns on the streets. Somehow, hip hop infiltrated the minds of billions of people. That's right, even the people that don't want to be coined as black. Remember, we're not black. We have brown hues, red hues. And some are darker than others. Some have a tint of blue in them. Some have a tint of purple in them. Some are very rich, Nubian, gray tones. Like straight up. Okay? So, the dream really got me to see that you can bring trouble into the dream world. You can bring all your awake shit into your dream. That's why I tell people, I don't have dreams besides the more fairy tale galactic dreams. But I don't have inspiring dreams that reflect what I want in my reality. I don't. I have imaginations. I have daydreams where I fantasize about things that I yearn. But when I go to sleep, I'm not living out things that I yearn. Like, well, maybe sometimes money-wise, but experiences, like, I'm not in a dream living out an off-grid situation. I'm not in a dream living in a mansion and ruling the world. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not in the jungle eating bananas. I'm not in the jungle preparing avocados and eating avocados. I'm not nowhere building a fire ever. So my imaginations on what I yearn and how I want to be. I want a beach. I want a river. I want a mountain. I want a beach. I want a river. And I want a damn mountain. I want a mountain so high that snow is at the peak. That's what I want. I want a beach, river, spring, mountain so high that snow is at the peak. That's right. So if the planet goes through some form of shift, I could still survive. Just go to the top of the mountain, right? Okay. Just remember, 9 out of 10, everything about your life, the ups and downs, the goods and the bad, the toxic, what y'all call the positives and the negatives, but it's really the toxic shit, right? There's a possibility your own soul, your own shadow, your own being orchestrated your demise. It knew exactly what this plane and realm was doing. It knew how many paths and walks through life and how much trauma you could endure. That's right. It knew how much you could endure, how much you could take, how quick you could go through deceit and deviate off your path. Do you hear me? Deceit, demise, decay. What was the other ones I said? What, even December, right? December. Man, this shit is not for fake. This shit is real. Just pay attention. It knew how far you can go off your path, how much trauma you could endure. Some people don't endure no psychological trauma. Some people live a actual life, but they never really connect with their being. They really never can give you some deep wisdom about acknowledging self, inner worth, you know. And you got some that can, there's a lot of them that can, especially if they're not born in the United States, not being deceived by all the glitz and the glam. But all this boiled down to me bringing reality into my dream realm, bringing reality into my construct. Okay? Is it going to change my path? No. I went through so much discipline for several years, and we still got hit with a bioweapon plague. We still got hit with the system we helped them build, the cell phone towers, the frequencies. We got hit with it, right? I'd say they hit us with it about 5 times strong, and out of them 5 times, I felt it 3 times during the pandemic. I felt it. And I said, how can and you know what? I know that if I didn't go through my veganism, my detoxing, and my discipline, I wouldn't have amounted to nothing then. I probably would have been victimized like all the other people that passed away, right? But I was able to fight off all that bullshit, right? But it still came with a price, because you have the aftermath. You have the aftermath. That's right. That's like they bomb Hiroshima or something, right? That's all allegedly. They bomb Hiroshima. But you still have the backblast. You still have the radiation, what's to come afterwards. You still have, you transform. And when you think about this, you be like, yeah, I did prepare myself up to that point. But psychologically, you look at how easy you're able to be hit because everybody is uninformed. We're holding these devices. We want faster service. We want a new trend to come out. We want to see what's new. We want to see what people are talking about across the world. And we are a ticking time bomb. We actually fell for the trap. And I say to myself, and I know my soul speaks to me all the time, my spirit speaks to me all the time, like, you still holding on. You're not gonna leave the matrix. Like you just wanna see what they're gonna do to you next, huh? You're not gonna go into a cave and do meditation and stuff. You're not gonna get away. You're not gonna go back to being a beach bum. You're just gonna endure what everybody else is enduring, huh? But it might just be me. A lot of people may not be going through what I'm going through. You know what I mean? Their vibration may be higher than my vibration. I don't know. But I do know that genetically, only the strong will survive, okay? And I've been partying my whole life, okay? I've been partying my whole life, so I had to recoup for about 5 years. And then I decided to just go against the grain of everything I was practicing and just do what I want. But remember, orchestrated demise is real. They infiltrate you through war, crime, drugs, problems, and solutions. And they hit us with the same shit over and over and over. They want to get rid of guns. They keep having people go shoot up schools. They want to steal the mind of your child. They force you to put them in school. They force you to sign a birth certificate. They want to weaken your nation. They send your men off to war. They put the women to work. They take the seeds from us. Orchestrated demise. And then the suffocation. The suffocation is real, y'all. How long do you think we're going to be able to breathe this shit in the air? Like, how many people are you going to have to see get COPD or whatever that thing, COD, or with the lungs, breathing issues before you realize you need to be masked up? I'm not talking about that cheap-ass mask. I'm talking about you need to be somewhere trying to figure out how to create oxygen tanks. Somebody need to be somewhere trying to figure out where these objects, these unfamiliar objects, how they're able to fly around and grid the sky. Are they coming from a spaceship hovering above us, or are they coming from the ground? Because that what they try to explain to you about the pilot releases the spray in the air is bullshit. They're using drones. They're using a type of drone that never come down. Like, how long do y'all think we're going to be able to breathe this without being disciplined on the right diet? Without doing water therapy, fasting with green chlorophyll? How long do you think we're going to be able to keep breathing this air? Especially in the city centers. Especially being hit with radioactive EMF wave frequencies. How long do you think we're going to survive under this orchestrated demise? Sooner or later, we're going to start dropping like flies. Whoever it can transform and metamorph into something else, like an android, robotoid, it'll do so. So the people who are fit and strong, I'll give you an example. The people who are fit and strong, like the ones at the gym, working out, exercising, I'm strong, boom, right? It takes a lot of oxygen to keep that body up in the muscles. Why you think they fall out, they pass out, and they die? It's something to really think about. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? So, if you're not willing to correct your planet so that you can sustain these bodies, you're going to start having problems. In the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to see this. They have not stopped spraying, and it's only getting worse and worse. They have not stopped spraying. Just like I said, they stole our gold to spray in their atmosphere and protect their planet. But they're spraying aluminum in our planet. Trump wanted to buy up all the aluminum. Do y'all remember? Trump kept talking about the aluminum, y'all. He wanted to buy up all the aluminum mines. He wanted to put stock in it. He was trying to tell you something. Or they were trying to tell you something, because he maybe just be a puppet. You don't know. But they was trying to tell you about the aluminum that they're spraying. Remember, all this allegedly. Orchestrated demise is real. You can keep sitting around here chasing the bag if you want. Knowledge is power. And you got to know that you only can do so much. You only can do so much. Sometimes you just got to walk away.